Hi everyone! This class is going to be about an hour long and it's an intermediate Vinyasa flow style class. This class is going to focus on some twisting and revolving poses, and so for that reason I definitely highly recommend using a block or a block substitute of some kind, like a water bottle, a book, whatever the case may be, that can just help bring your mat up a little bit closer to you. Once you are ready though, we will get started in child's pose for this practice. If child's pose isn't a comfortable place for you to start, feel free to start somewhere else. And feel free to come into any variation of child's pose that works best for you. Whether the arms are out in front of you, back by the feet, whether your forehead is on the mat, on the backs of your hands, a block, maybe your face is turned to the side and after a few minutes you turn it to the other side. Just begin to allow the body to settle. Feel the shins and tops of the feet become heavier into the mat, the hips become heavier towards the heels. The shoulders soften onto the back. The elbows soften into whatever's beneath them. And in the midst of that heaviness and softness, feel the breath as it moves throughout the body. With each inhale, feel the back of the body rise. With each exhale, feel it fall. And try to allow each subsequent breath to become a little fuller, a little longer, a little smoother if you find that the breath is a little choppy or shallow for you today. Notice if there are any places where the breath seems to become stuck. Just observing that without judgment. You may start to constrict the back of the throat, finding a light ujjayi breath, engaging the same muscles in the throat that you use when you whisper or when you fog up a mirror. Using that engagement to give the breath more sound, more depth, allowing the sound of your breath to be your own reminder to breathe and breathe deeply. Using that breath to start to cultivate a sense of internal heat even before you move. Take a few more. And here, from wherever you are, bring your hands together to touch. If you're in child's pose, you might bring the arms forward and the fingertips pointing towards the top of the mat. Or you might bend the elbows so the fingertips point towards the ceiling or the sky. Or from wherever you are, finding this symbolic gesture, Anjali Mudra. And from this place, perhaps a little more present and grounded than when you first came into the shape that you've taken. Begin to guide and set your intention for this practice. Whether it be something mental, something physical, something emotional, whatever it is that guides you and carries you through, motivates you and inspires you to practice today. And together, we'll collectively seal those intentions in by taking a deep breath in through the nose and a long sigh through the mouth. Another deep inhale and exhale. From here, gently release the hands to the mat and start to walk your hands out and over to the left, pressing your hips over to the right. And now you can leave both of your hands out in front of you, or you might take your left hand back by your left hip. Just gently press into the left hand, pull with the right hand. Maybe you rest your head on your right arm. Just beginning to cultivate some length through the right side. We often think of revolving and twisting poses as needing space in the shoulders and upper back, and although that's true, it's also just as important that we create space in the sides of the body and the sides of the waist, giving us more room to twist through. Take another breath here. Good, and then come back to center and switch sides, walking over to the right, pressing the hips out and to the left. Same option with the right hand. Maybe you tent the fingers back by your right hip, breathing into the left side. One more breath here. Good, come back to center and begin to come up to tabletop. Bring the knees underneath of the hips, the wrists underneath of the shoulders. Coming into a little flow here. As you inhale, drop the belly and lift the heart to cow pose. And then keep the heart lifted, but start to shift forward. Drop the hips, lengthen the tailbone, bend the elbows, find cobra pose. Press into the tops of the feet. Inhale here. And as you exhale, press back up through the hands, round the spine, come back to child's pose. Taking that a few more times, inhale to table, drop the belly, lift the heart. As you exhale, start to lower to cobra pose, engage back through the legs and feet. Press up as you inhale and roll back to child's pose. One more time, inhale forward, drop the belly. Exhale, lowering slowly with control to cobra. Inhale to press straight up and roll back. Take a breath in and out. Right, return to tabletop. And here just begin to set up the hands, slightly turning the hands out so that your pointer fingers are forward and your wrist creases are parallel to the top of the mat. Grip into all 5 fingers, especially your pointer finger and thumb, and then begin to tuck the toes under and lift to your first down dog. And you might find some movements here to just begin to work through some tension in the backs of the legs or in the shoulders, maybe through the head and neck. Good, and then as you inhale, lift both of your heels high. And as you exhale, swivel both heels to the left. Bend into your left knee, but try to keep the right leg straight. And you want to seal the outer edge of the right foot down into the mat, almost like your back foot is in warrior 1 or 2. Good, keep lifting the hips up high, finding length through the right side again here. But especially so finding length through the outer edge of the right hip in the IT band. As you inhale, lift both hips high to center, both heels high. And as you exhale, swivel the heels to the right, bend into your right knee. Keep lifting the hips up as you straighten through the left leg. Keep drawing the ribs in and letting the head and neck be heavy. Inhale, both heels lift high. Keep the heels lifted as you roll forward to plank. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, lower halfway, you can drop the knees. Inhale back to cobra or to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Knowing that vinyasa is always optional and that you can change it as you need throughout the practice. Always honor your body as it is today. On your next inhale, bend the knees and look forward and step or hop the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, lengthens the spine halfway. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to rise all the way up to stand. The arms reach overhead. As you exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Next inhale, reaches the arms back overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, fold forward, finding Uttanasana. Inhale to lift halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. And as you exhale, step just your left foot back and drop your knee down to the floor. Begin to rise up to our low lunge. And here, just check it with the hips. A lot of times the right hip likes to lift up higher than the left. Here, try to drop it down and draw your left hip forward, finding some neutrality in the pelvis. Relax the grip of the right toes as you sink the hips forward from here, and then reach the arms up overhead. Spiral the pinky fingers in towards each other to really extend out through the shoulders, but draw the shoulder blades down the back away from the neck. Take a breath. And from here, take your right hand to your right hip and reach up and over with the left arm. Lengthening the left side body again here. Opening through the hip crease. Inhale to center, the arms reach. As you exhale, take the hands to the heart. Lean forward to make a nice long diagonal in the spine. And through that length, start to twist to the right. Maybe you hook your left elbow across the thigh. Maybe you take your left hand to the floor or a block. Option to lift the back knee off the floor if you wish to. And as you twist here, try to still keep the right knee stacked over the ankle. You might want to try to fall inwards here, but try to keep that integrity. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale. And as you exhale, release the hands to the mat. Drop the back knee down if it was lifted. Take both hands to the inside and start to wiggle the right foot out a little wider to the right, coming into lizard pose. Now you can either stay here up on the hands. You might drop down onto your forearms or place your forearms or hands on a block or blocks. It's okay here if your right toes turn out to the right some. Just try to allow your knee to point the same direction your toes are. It's okay if you roll to the outer edge of your right foot, but if you do so, especially make sure to keep active through the foot and ankle to protect your knee. And breathe wherever you are. Soften the shoulders, soften the face. Take a few more breaths. On your next inhale, come back up onto the hands if you drop down. Lift the back knee off of the floor and work to step your right foot back to meet your left. Engage the thighs, take a breath in. Then as you exhale, roll to the outer edge of the right foot, the inner edge of the left foot. Reach the left arm up to the sky or ceiling. Now either stay here or you can drop your right knee down, or you can stack your left foot on top of the right, finding Vashisthasana, side plank. Breathe where you are. Grip into your bottom fingers for support. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to center. As you exhale, lower halfway. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale to down dog. Breathe here. Sometimes teachers will talk about down dog being a resting posture. I don't really think of it too much as a resting posture, but more so as an opportunity to reconnect to the breath, to reconnect to your intention if you need, to reconnect to alignment in the body. Take a breath. On your next inhale, step your right foot forward between the hands. And sink the hips, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, straighten the front leg and fold. Maybe blocks are under the hands. Lengthening into the back of the right leg, into the hamstring. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. So you inhale, bend back into the front knee and step your left foot forward to meet your right. Lengthen halfway as you get there. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to rise up to stand, the arms reach. Exhale, the hands to the heart. And other side, inhale, reaches the arms. Exhale to fold in. Inhale, finds length. As you exhale, step just your right foot back and drop your knee down. Begin to rise up into your low lunge. Checking in with the pelvis and the hips. Then reaching the arms overhead. Take a few breaths here. Next inhale, take the left hand to the left hip and reach up and over with the right arm. Maybe you look up underneath of the right arm. Inhale to center. As you exhale, take the hands to the heart. Lean forward to make some space and twist through that space to the left. Maybe hooking the right elbow, maybe not. Maybe you lift the back knee off of the floor. Breathe where you are. Try to relax the grip of the left toes into the mat, even though the left foot's actively pressing down. Inhale. Exhale. Gently release the hands. Take the back knee back down if it was lifted. Begin to find your lizard pose. And as far as the back leg goes, it doesn't matter how far deeply you're coming into this posture, whatever's best for you. But you want your right knee to be even just half an inch back behind where the right hip is. That way your leg isn't at a 90-degree angle, putting a lot of pressure on the knee. When we have the knee right underneath of the hip, it makes it very hard to come forward and down. Even if it's just half an inch behind, that allows our hips to sink forward and our torso to come forward. Being mindful of the left knee and ankle. Take a couple more breaths here. Maybe you're in the same variation as you were on the other side. Maybe this side calls for something slightly different. One more breath. So you inhale, come back up onto the hands. Tuck the back toes under to lift the back knee off the mat. Step back to your plank and engage the legs. Take a breath. As you exhale, find your side plank on the left side. Maybe the same variation you found on the other side. Maybe this side needs a different one. Breathe here. Inhale. Exhale to plank. Inhale. Exhale to meet in down dog. Maybe moving through your vinyasa. Maybe lifting directly up and back. Come back to the breath. Good. Next inhale, steps the left foot forward. Sink the hips, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, straighten the front leg to fold forward. Breathe into the left hamstring. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. So you inhale, bend back into your left knee and step the right foot forward to meet it. Lengthen the spine as you get there. Exhale to fold in. Inhale, press down to rise up, the arms reach. Exhale, the hands to the heart, Samasthiti. Take a breath. Next inhale, reaches the arms overhead. Exhale to fold back down, Uttanasana. Inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, we meet in downward facing dog. Your choice how you get there. And on your next inhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. Take your left foot slightly forward and out to the left. Spiral the heel down and start to soften into the right knee. Bring the belly to the thigh, reach the arms forward, and then relax the toes as you press down to rise up, straighten the front leg at the top. Take the hands to the hips. And here, just make sure that your hips are even with one another, that your left hip is the same distance forward as your right. Your tailbone's drawing down so the low belly can lift in and up. Then reach the arms overhead and interlace fingers at the top. Inhale here. And as you exhale, reach up and over to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Maybe take your left hand to your back inner thigh. Inhale to center, reach the arms. So you exhale, take the hands to the hips, soften your front knee slightly as you start to hinge halfway forward. Make sure the pelvis stays neutral, the low back stays flat, and then when you reach your edge, begin to fold forward into pyramid pose, Parvottanasana. Good place for blocks to be under the hands if the hamstring is tight. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale to fold. As you inhale, once again, soften the front knee slightly, reach the arms forward. Press down to rise up. At the top, drop the arms back behind you, interlace fingers, and use the wrists and knuckles to feel that the low back is even, that the hips are level. Soften into the front knee, start to hinge forward. Make sure you feel with the arms that your pelvis isn't tipping to one side or the other. And then begin to fold, and again, maybe reaching the arms off of the low back as you get there. When you reach the arms overhead, try to keep the heels of the hands pressing in towards each other. It's a little bit harder to do so, but it keeps the opening moving higher up into the shoulders and upper back. Breathe here. So you inhale, lengthen the spine. Keep the low back level, but then release your hands down. Maybe you find your block for under the left hand. Take the left hand either to the inside or outside edge of the front foot. Press into both hands and start to twist to the right. Maybe you reach the right arm up overhead, finding revolve triangle, Parivrtta Trikonasana. Can of course always keep the right hand on the low back or even take a half bind with the right hand if you wish to. Inhale. Exhale. Deep breath in. As you exhale, gently release and fold. So you inhale, start to rise up. The top, turn your right foot in to face the long edge of the mat, followed by the left. If you have lines on your mat like mine, make sure the feet are even. If you don't have lines, you can use the front or back edge of the mat. As you're ready, take the hands to the hips, draw down through the tailbone, and then start to soften the knees and hinge just halfway forward. And as you get there, take your left hand directly under the face. Start to press into your right hand to twist to the right. Maybe you reach the right arm up overhead. Maybe you take a half bind behind the back. Just like in our pyramid pose, though, try to keep the pelvis as level as you can here, moving the twist higher up into the spine instead of it happening just from your hip dropping down. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So you inhale, reach the right arm back up. And as you exhale, thread the right arm under the left, reaching for the outside of the left leg. Maybe walking the left fingertips further forward And pulling at the left leg to start to twist to the left, finding a counter twist. The right hip's going to want to collapse in and down. Keep drawing it up and back. Twisting through the belly and the rib cage. Try to resist the urge to lock out the knees and lean back into the heels here. Inhale. As you exhale, release your right hand forward as well and walk the hands forward a little bit more. Maybe your hands are on blocks. And drop down through the chest and the forehead. Finding almost like a super wide-legged down dog here, just to release the shoulders and upper back. Soften the knees as much as you need to allow that to happen. And then start to walk the hands back and fold into the legs just for a couple of breaths. So you inhale, lengthen the spine halfway. Take the hands to the hips, soften the knees, and press down to rise up. Good. At the top, turn your right foot out. Turn your left foot slightly in. And start to bend into your front right knee, finding warrior two. Take a breath in here. Keep the right knee over the ankle. Resist the urge to let the knee fall inwards. And then as you're ready, take your right forearm down to your right thigh. Coming into side angle pose, reaching up and over with the left arm. You can stay here, or you can take your right hand to the floor or to a block on the outside of the right knee. But try to keep the weight in your hand or forearm light here. Try to let most of the weight be in the legs and in the feet. Really reach through the left fingertips, lengthen the left side. Inhale. Exhale. As you inhale, press into the feet. Keep the right knee where it is as you come back to warrior two. Take a breath. And as you exhale, we meet in downward facing dog. And deep breath in. Full breath out. Next inhale, steps the left foot forward between the hands. Step your right foot slightly forward and out to the right. Spiral the heel down. Soften into the left knee to take the belly to the thigh. Reach the arms forward and press down to rise up. The top, straighten the front leg. Check in with the hips. Check in with the pelvis, with the tailbone. Make those self-adjustments. And then reach the arms overhead and interlace your fingers at the top. Inhale for length. As you exhale, reach up and over to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Maybe you take your right arm to your back inner thigh. Inhale to center. Then return the hands to the hips. Check back in with the pelvis. Soften the front knee slightly and start to hinge halfway forward. Inhale here. Find your edge and then release to fold. Your edge might be different here than it was on the other side. Remember to support yourself as you need. Keep pressing actively down into your front left foot to keep the left thigh active. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale to fold. And as you inhale, soften into the front knee, reach the arms forward, rise up. At the top, take the hands behind the back and interlace, but take the opposite thumb on top. And check in with the pelvis with the knuckles and wrists. Lift the heart up at the top. And as you exhale, start to hinge just halfway forward again. Find your edge and then fold, maybe taking the hands off of the back. Breathe into the shoulders and into the left hamstring. So you inhale, lengthen the spine, feel the low back with the knuckles. Then release the hands, find your black. And begin to set up your revolve triangle here. Meaning to twist to the left. Maybe your right hand is on the inside of the left foot, maybe it's the outside. Maybe your left hand's on the low back, maybe it's up overhead. Maybe it's behind the back. And if you do take a half bind, use that hand to lift your right hip up. Take another couple of breaths here. Inhale. As you exhale, fold forward. Gently begin to rise all the way up. At the top, turn both feet in to face the long edge of the mat. Make sure the feet are in line. Draw the tail down. Lift the heart up. And as you're ready, begin to fold halfway down. Take the hands under the face. This time, keep the right hand under the face. Take the left hand to the low back. Press into both hands to twist to the left. Maybe the left arm reaches. Maybe you take it behind the back. Breathe where you are. And try to still maintain the lengthening of the spine from front to back and twist through that length. Keep drawing the heart forward and the tailbone back. As you inhale, reach the left arm up overhead. Then as you exhale, thread the left arm underneath of the right, reaching for the outside of the right leg. Maybe walking the right fingertips further forward as you twist to the right. Gently release the left hand forward, walking both hands forward and dropping the chest down. Maybe softening the knees some here. Finding that wide-legged child's pose, downward facing dog. Good, and then start to walk the hands back just to fold into the legs, into our Prasarita here, just for a moment. As you inhale, lift halfway up. Soften the knees, take the hands to the hips and press down to rise up. At the top, turn the left foot out, the right foot in, and begin to set up your legs for Warrior Two. Take a breath here. And as you're ready, begin to find your side angle pose, either with the left forearm on the left thigh or your left hand on a block. Right arm reaches up and over. Try to keep the weight in your hand light, like you could hover it right off the floor and not move. But try to keep a lot of the weight into the legs. Drawing the left knee right over the ankle. Take a breath. Good. As you inhale, rise up to Warrior Two. As you exhale, we meet in Downward Facing Dog. Find your breath. Inhale, bends the knees. Exhale to step or hop. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to fold in. And here, just grab on the opposite elbows and hang heavy in your fold for a moment. Maybe you sway side to side for a moment or two, a breath or two. As you inhale, slowly start to roll up the spine, bone by bone. At the top, lift up through the head, the neck, reach the arms overhead. And exhale the hands to the heart. And here we're going to work to come into a balancing sequence with eagle pose. So you're going to start to shift right into your right foot. And you're going to soften the knees and work to cross the left leg up and over the right. You can always take the toes back to the mat, or you can squeeze them against the calf or wrap them behind. And then here, bring your left arm under the right for eagle arms, or just give yourself a hug. Squeeze and lift through the elbows and shoulders. Take a breath in. Find your drishti, your gaze point. Then as you're ready, start to lean forward. Unwrap the left leg. Shoot it back for warrior three in the legs. Inhale here. As you exhale, pull it forward. Wrap it across the right leg again. Inhale in your eagle. Exhale to warrior three in the legs. Extend through the lifted toes. Take a breath in. As you exhale, pull it forward, wrap it around one more time. Inhale. Exhale, warrior three. And stay here as you inhale. And as you exhale, step your left foot way back. Find your lunge. Maybe you lift up through the elbows and fingers for a moment. Lift the heart. And then unwrap the arms. Reach them up to the ceiling or sky. Inhale here. As you exhale, reach the left arm forward and right arm back. Take a breath in. And then tip forward to take your left hand to the floor. Reach the right arm up to the sky. And then here, start to pivot your right toes to the right. Roll onto the outer edge of the back foot. You might have to scoot your right foot back some. Squeeze the inner thighs and lift up from your bottom hip, finding a side plank variation here. Either stay here or stack the right leg on top of the left. Either stay here or drop your right foot behind the left leg for wild thing pose. Breath in through the nose. Sigh it out. Inhale. And as you exhale, very mindfully and gently make your way to downward facing dog. Deep inhale. Exhale. So you inhale, drop the knees to tabletop. Taking the left hand right underneath of the face, reach the right arm up to the sky. And then thread the right arm underneath of the left, coming all the way down onto the shoulder, the side of the face. Your choice where the left hand is, whether it's where it started, the top of the mat, overhead, behind the back perhaps. And try to keep the knees under the hips and the feet right behind the knees. They might want to come together to touch here, but try to keep them parallel to one another. If your hand is on the low back, use it as an opportunity to even out the pelvis and sacrum. Take a couple of breaths. Good. Take the left hand back to where it started. Press down, rise up, reach up through the right arm. And then take the right hand down. Drop both of your forearms down, either keeping the hands parallel to each other or interlacing the fingers together, but beginning to tuck the toes under to find dolphin pose. Strengthening through the upper back and shoulders, but releasing through the head and neck. Breathe into the upper back as you actively press down into the forearms and hands. Three more breaths. And replace your forearms with hands, returning to down dog. Inhale, bends the knees. Exhale to step or hop. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. And once again, soften the knees, grab onto opposite elbows, maybe you sway and just dangle heavily here. And slowly start to roll bone by bone all the way up the spine. The tail draw down, let the head and neck lift, followed by the arms. Exhale the hands to the heart. Deep breath in, breath out. And finding that sequence on the other side, begin to shift weight into your left foot. Soften the left knee as you cross the right leg up and over. Take the right arm under the left. Again, you can just give yourself a hug here, reaching for the shoulders. You can find eagle arms. Squeeze everything together. Find your drishti. Inhale. As you exhale, lean forward, unwrap, extend through the lifted leg and toes. Rise back up, cross the right leg back over the left. Inhale. Exhale to unwrap, extend. Breath in. Exhale to bring it forward, wrap it around one more time. Inhale. Exhale to unwrap and extend. Deep breath in. As you exhale, step way back to our lunge. Maybe you lift up through the elbows and fingers. And unwrap and reach up through the arms. Inhale here. So you exhale, reach the right arm forward, the left arm back. Take a breath. And then tip forward, taking the right hand to the floor. Reach the left arm up. Start to wiggle the left foot back and turn the left toes out. Roll to the outer edge of the back right foot. Lift from your bottom hip and squeeze the thighs together. Inhale. Stay or find your side plank, Vashisthasana. Stay or find wild thing pose. Breath in through the nose. Sigh it out. Inhale. As you exhale, we meet in down dog mindfully and carefully. Breath in, breath out. Drop the knees to table. Take the right hand under the face, reach up with the left arm. Exhale to thread the needle, thread it under the right, come all the way down. Your choice where the right arm is. Be mindful of the knees and the feet. As you're ready, take the right hand down. Press down to rise up, reach up through the left arm. Then lower the left hand down and begin to set up your dolphin pose. Now this time in dolphin, if it's safely in your practice to come into a headstand or forearm stand or just lift one leg and the other leg, you might do so. Otherwise, just stay here and focus on the strengthening and the stillness of this pose. And know always that even if you can do something, doesn't mean you have to. That just because you can do an inversion doesn't mean that you have to do it. You can always opt to stay here. And know that neither pose is less than the other one. Take a few more breaths wherever you are. Replace your elbows with your forearms with your hands. Return to down dog. Inhale, bends the knees. Exhale to step or hop. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to fold. Inhale to rise up. The arms reach at the top. Exhale the hands to heart center. And here we're going to come into one last balancing sequence. You want to have your block nearby, near the top of your mat. As you're ready, shift into your right foot and start to lift your left knee up at the height of your hip. And then from here, start to twist through the torso to the left. You can either keep the hands at the heart You can extend the arms out into a T, staying here. Maybe the right hand comes across the left thigh, or maybe you even reach for the outer edge of the left foot and start to extend. Finding dancing Shiva pose. And lean back some so the heart stays lifted over the hips. Wherever you are, take a breath in. Take a breath out. And now try to keep your left leg lifted even as you let go of it if you're holding on. And then start to sweep the left leg back and reverse the arms. So your left arm is forward, your right arm is back, left leg is back. Reach the left hand down for the mat or for a block. Take the right hand to the low back. Stay here or start to twist through the torso to the right, finding revolved half movement. Maybe the right arm reaches up, maybe you keep it at the low back. Keep lifting from the back of the left thigh. Breath in, breath out. Inhale. As you exhale, lower the right hand down. Lower the left foot right next to the right one. And then bend the knees deeply, separate the knees out wide, and start to walk the hands forward for a more traditional variation of our low squat. Press the heels together so the knees separate and the hips release. Now you're welcome to stay right here, or you might walk the hands in and bring the knees into the upper arms, working on crow pose. Or you might take the knees together and take both hands over to the right, working on side crow pose, trying to take your left hand back in line with your toes, finding chaturanga arms, shoulder width distance apart, bending the elbows, leaning forward, maybe just lifting the top leg or maybe the bottom leg too. Breathe where you are. And take another breath. And spiral the knees together. Begin to straighten the legs and fold forward. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale to fold. As you inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale the hands to the heart. Take a breath in. Full breath out. Other side. Last standing sequence. Start to shift weight into your left foot. Lift your right knee up at the height of your hip. Try not to jack your right hip up, but to keep it in line with the left. Hands to the heart. Start to twist to the right. Maybe you find a T with the arms. Maybe you reach for the outside of the thigh. Maybe the outer edge of the foot. Either way, stay active in the right foot and ankle. Slightly lean back so the heart's over the hips and the spine is long. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale. As you exhale, keep the leg lifted but let go. Start to sweep the right leg back, switch your arms. Inhale here. Reach the right hand down for the floor or for a block, slightly over to the right. Give yourself more space. And then maybe you start to lift the left arm up, finding revolved half moon, Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. Breath in, breath out. Inhale. As you exhale, lower the left hand down, the right foot next to the left. Separate the knees, press the heels together. Start to walk the hands forward and drop down through the chest and forehead. Just as much as you're leaning forward through the torso, sit back through the hips to counterbalance here. Breath in and out. Same option here. stay, find crow pose, or spiral the knees together and find side crow, taking both arms over to the left. Trying to bring the hands back in line with the feet, shoulder distance apart. Breathe wherever you are. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more breath. And from wherever you are, begin to find your way to seated. And as you come to seated, bring your left knee forward, bending at the knee. Cross your right knee over top of the left, finding Gomukhasana legs. You can always sit on a blanket, a block, or you can extend your bottom left leg forward if you need to. But as you're ready, squeeze the thighs together, reach up through the arms. As you exhale, walk the hands forward to fold in. Try to keep the sits bones pressing back into the mat behind you, even as the torso comes forward. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale to fold. So you inhale, come all the way up, reach the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, start to twist to the right, reaching the left arm forward and right arm back. Take your left arm down where it lands and then slide forward to hook the elbow across. Maybe you take the hands together. Squeeze the thighs and belly as you twist to the right. Inhale to center, reach up through the arms. As you exhale, take the right hand down by the right hip, reach up and over with the left arm. Keep the left hip pressing down into the mat. Inhale to center. Exhale the left hand down, reach through the right. Keep pressing the right hip into the mat. Inhale to center. And here, lean back to switch the cross of the legs, putting the right knee on bottom, the left knee on top. Again, sit on a block or blanket as you need. Extend the bottom leg forward if you need, even if you didn't need it on the other side. Honor this side as it is. And as you're ready, the arms reach, the thighs squeeze, and then begin to fold forward. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale to fold forward. So you inhale, rise all the way up, the arms reach. As you exhale, reach the right arm forward, the left arm back. Take the right arm down and then slide forward so that the elbow hooks across, bringing the hands together. Engaging the ankles, squeezing the thighs, pressing the hands into one another. Finding one last hip opening, twist here. So you inhale, come back to center, reach. Exhale the left hand down, reaching up and over with the right arm. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center, leaning back, uncrossing the legs, taking them out to the edges of the mat with the knees bent. And for a moment, just windshield wiper the knees side to side. And you want to keep the feet mats with distance apart so the knees have room to drop down and internally rotate the femur bones and the thighs to counter stretch that opening that we just found. And then come up and take the soles of the feet together, let the knees open wide. Again, sitting up on a blanket or block here is a good adjustment. Sit up tall as you inhale, and as you exhale, begin to fold forward, finding Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Let go of the head and neck. To inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale to come all the way up. And from here, begin to work your way down onto your back. Once you get there, hug the knees into the chest, rock side to side. Maybe you circle the knees clockwise and counterclockwise here. And then as you're ready, let both of your knees fall over to the right side. Letting your arms be wherever feels most comfortable for you, finding one last twist. But allowing this twist to be much more passive than the others we found. Allowing the body to soften. Allowing the breath to deepen and lengthen. Letting go of Ujjayi if you're still practicing that breath. Perhaps allowing the eyes to close. You inhale, bring both knees to center. And as you exhale, let them fall to the left. Again, let this twist be passive. Resist the urge to pull or yank yourself deeper here. Allow yourself to just soften here. Find more of a sense of undoing instead of doing. Inhale to center. Hug the knees in one last time. Maybe you find happy baby pose if you wish to find one more opening and release through the hips. Maybe you just keep the knees together and rock. And then as you're ready, begin to find yourself wherever it is that you wish to take Shavasana today. Whether it's laying long and flat into the mat, whether it's with the knees bent, in bound angle pose, or knocked together to touch. Maybe it's child's pose, sitting in meditation, or somewhere else you'd like to find yourself for rest. But wherever you are, allow yourself to be all there. To soften. To let go. To let go of any judgment, anticipation, or expectation you may have had for this practice or for yourself or for what comes next. And to just fully embrace the next few minutes of stillness. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Taking your deepest breath in so far. And your longest, slowest, softest breath out. Reach the arms overhead, stretching from the fingers to the tips of the toes. And draw the knees in to roll off to whichever side feels most comfortable for you. And as you arrive there, allow your top hand to rest at your heart. And take a moment here to be grateful. Grateful towards your body and breath. But even more so towards yourself for making the time to practice. Knowing that there are countless things you could have done instead, but you chose to roll out your mat. And knowing that that's enough. With that same hand, gently press yourself up to seated. Bringing the hands together at the heart. And I just wanted to extend my own gratitude towards each of you who chose to watch this and do this practice with me. I hope that you can carry any benefit with you for however long you may need it. And until I see you on your mat again and you see me, namaste.